Welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. It's Friday and it's time for stories. And today we have a very special guest, the amazing Debra Weller. Give applause to Debra Weller. So, how are you, Debra?
I am great. Today I am Mrs. Claus. And because it got very, very wild up there, Deborah asked me to come and be here today to tell some holiday stories as we're just starting to get into the season.
Yeah. So the floor is yours.
Yes. So are we ready to start?
Yes.
I want to tell you a story, spin you a yarn, take you on a magic trip here and beyond. Bring your imagination and a happy smile. Please gather round, sing along, listen for a while. Christmas is coming, the geese are getting fat. Please to put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny'll do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. God bless the mistress of this house and the master also, and all the little children that round the table go, and all your kins and kinsmen that dwell both far and near. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you all the happiest holidays as we are getting ready to celebrate so many holidays at this time of the year, not just Christmas. Well, today I am wondering, who will be on that nice list? Oh, I've got my book right here, and I'm going to be checking all of those names to see who is on the nice list. Right now, I know Louie's on the nice list, and Despina's on the nice list, and Omar and Terry's on the nice list. And we're all here at the World Storytelling Cafe today to bring you those stories. Well, we've been having chaos at the North Pole. It's so busy there. We are getting everything ready because in just like 5 weeks, the Christmas season has already begun. And of course, at the North Pole, we work all year round. Oh, just this morning, a very funny thing happened. In fact, I want to tell you the story about what happened. Every year at the North Pole, we have to go out in the forest to find our Christmas tree to put in the big room up at the North Pole house. So Santa came out this morning and said, oh, it's time for us to go and look for a Christmas tree. And the elves began to sing, it's time, it's time, it's time to find the Christmas tree. And we all gathered together. We put on our heavy coats because, up at the North Pole, we always have to wear our heavy coats, our mittens, and our boots because it snows every day. And did you know at the North Pole, it's also very dark at this time of the year. We only get the tiniest bit of sunlight. So what we have to do is make the most of our days. And what we need to do always is we carry our flashlights with us when we go out in the dark. So on this very day, we went out in the snow. Rudolph was with us. The elves were with us. And Santa and I, of course. And we were looking here and we were looking there to find the perfect tree. What will it be? I know. We'll look in the snow forest. That's where the fir trees go. And some of the trees in our snow forest are more than 50 feet high, 60 feet high, 100 feet high. Oh, we looked and there was the perfect tree. Santa brought his axe and he began to chop at that tree trunk. We all stood back because it was such a beautiful tree and a perfect shape, and we always plant new trees at the North Pole when we cut down a tree. Well, he bucked and pulled and he hacked with his axe, but the tree would not fall. So Santa said, "Ho, ho, ho, I think we better pull it." So Santa tried, and you can try too. He pulled and he pulled and he pulled, but the tree would not budge. "Oh, oh, oh, Mrs. Santa, do you think you could pull this tree?" "I'll help Santa gladly." So I held on to Santa. Santa held on to the tree, and we pulled and we pulled and we pulled. But the tree did not budge. It was pretty cold out there. "Oh, oh, oh, I think we need someone else to help us. Let's call Rudolph over here." So we did. "Rudolph, Rudolph, can you come and help us?" And Rudolph had his shiny red nose glowing in the dark. And so Santa held on to the tree trunk. I held on to Santa, and Rudolph put his hooves on me. And we pulled, and we pulled, and we pulled. But alas, the tree didn't budge. "Oh, oh, oh, what are we gonna do now?" "Why don't we invite a polar bear? They're pretty strong. They live here at the North Pole. They can help us pull out the tree." And that's what we did. We called our friend the polar bear. "Oh, yes. Oh, polar bear, can you help us?" And the polar bear came tramping by. "Sure, I can help." So Santa held on to the tree trunk. I held on to Santa. Rudolph put his hooves on me, and the polar bear put his claws gently on Rudolph. And we pulled, and we pulled, and we pulled. But alas, nothing happened. "Oh, oh, 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 oh. I don't know, Mrs. Claus. What are we going to do now?" "Oh, I just saw an Arctic fox. Perhaps the Arctic fox can help us." "Oh, Artie, can you come over here?" And that little fox bounded so quickly through the snow. "Artie, could you help us? Could you pull on Polar Bear?" And all of us helped to pull the tree out so we can have a beautiful tree in the house for Christmas. "I will, I will." And so Santa held on to the tree. I held on to Santa. Rudolph put his hooves on me. The polar bear put his claws on Rudolph gently. And the Arctic fox pulled on the polar bear. We pulled, and we pulled, and we pulled. But alas, nothing happened. A tiny little lemon, not a lemon, a lemming, we call them lemon, no, lemon the lemming, and lemming was walking by, skirting by as they usually do. And we said, "Lemon, lemon, lemon, could you help us?" "I'm kind of small. I don't know if I could help. Do you think I could help?" "Oh, Lemon, we think you can help. You pull right on Artie the Fox." So Santa took hold of the tree, and I took hold of Santa. And next came Rudolph with his hooves on me, and the polar bear with his claws on Rudolph gently, and the Arctic fox with his paws, and the little lemming with his tiny little paws. We pulled, and we pulled, and whoa, up came that tree. Look at it. And we all helped to bind it with the ropes. And then Santa put it on the sleigh. And with the horses, we galloped off back to our home at the North Pole. The elves were so excited to see the tree. I know some of you will be excited to see a Christmas tree in your home. And so it was that we pulled it into the house and set that beautiful, enormous Christmas tree into the holder. Well, it was time to make dinner. So I went into the kitchen and I chopped up the carrots, chopped up the potatoes, chopped up the celery, put it in the pot, added some all delicious vegetables and some pasta. And soon the soup was bubbling away. And I sent out a message to all of the elves. Tonight, come for dinner. We're having delicious minestrone soup and we're having some bread. Let's have dinner and afterwards we can decorate the tree. Bring your favorite decorations. Well, all of the elves finished their work and the baby elves came from daycare. And we sat down for a feast of delicious minestrone soup and bread. When our meal was over, we walked into the great room at our North Pole home. Everyone just stood around the tree. We joined hands and began to sing, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree." And everybody was so jolly. And they began to sing, "Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la." Each of the elves took a turn to hang an ornament on the tree. We needed a ladder to get up so high. Santa and I just stood back and watched. Oh, 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 it always makes my heart so merry to be here watching our elves and our friends decorate our tree. It's a beautiful tree, Mrs. Claus. I had to agree. It certainly was a beautiful tree. When we were done, we all gathered hands together. And we were so grateful. We expressed our gratitude for one another. We expressed our gratitude for being able to bring joy to so many families and children around the world. And that night, everyone at the North Pole had sweet dreams. Santa and I were tired, but we knew now our own Christmas could come. And that is the story of the enormous fir tree. Oh, Santa and I love to make up our own stories. And so it is that we decided to take another story that we knew called The Turnip. Oh, have any of you heard of the story of the turnip? It's similar to the one I told about the enormous fir tree, but it's about a farmer who has to pull a turnip out of the ground. Do you know what we love to do at the North Pole? We love to find stories and change them and make up new stories using the old story. I bet you could do that too. Oh, I think I hear some jingle bells. Oh, yes. Oh, I have my bells here. I know that some of you will be watching this at another time, but I'd like you to join in singing jingle bells, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, I'm wondering, you know, Christmas is not celebrated all over the world. There's many beautiful holidays that get celebrated. There is Diwali that celebrates the light that just happened this past month. And prayers were said and festivities were said. On December 5th, it'll be Père Noël. In France, the children will think of Father Christmas. They might eat a delicious chocolate cake to think of Père Noël. In Amsterdam, children put out wooden shoes on Christmas Eve. And if they've been naughty, they have to watch out for Black Peter. Black Peter watches to make sure that children aren't naughty. But if they are naughty, they might get some coal. And in Italy, sweet Befana, who missed the three wise men coming to her home, she was so busy cleaning, she didn't stop to follow them and to follow the star that night. So now Befana travels all night long on Christmas Eve, peering in the windows, and she looks for babies in the cribs and children. She'd bring tiny little straw dolls and lay them on their pillows as a gift that Befana had come to visit. There are so many beautiful holidays. There's holidays that celebrate the new year. There's holidays and festivities that we all can enjoy throughout the year. Also this year, Hanukkah happens the same day as Christmas Day, where a great miracle will be remembered when a temple that was destroyed was cleansed, and the miracle of the lights burning in the temple for 8 nights in a row will be celebrated, for a great miracle happened there. Whichever holidays or traditions you celebrate. Oh, I forgot one called St. Lucia Day. And in Sweden, the oldest girl wears a gown of white and a crown upon her head with candles. The children get up early and make cardamom buns. They go into their mommy and daddy's room and they serve the cardamom buns and sing songs to their family and look out for the Yule cat. Yes, in Iceland, the Yule cat may come around and perhaps leave a surprise. And in Sweden, the tomten might come around and leave little surprises for people. So whichever holiday you celebrate, we can enjoy many of the sweet holiday traditions. Well, I am wondering, do you see my little Rudolph? Oh yes, well, I don't just have one. I have one, 2, 3. Let me get the other one. 4 and 5. Oh, I think they're all kind of sliding together. But at the North Pole, we have so many reindeer. We have herds of reindeer. And the ones that pull the sleigh, there are just a few of them, but we train the reindeer all year long. 5 little reindeer playing in the snow. The first one said, "Can you see my nose glow?" The second one said, "Listen to me sing, la 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 la." The third one said, "I can hear the bells ring." The fourth one said, "Let's eat pie." The fifth one said, "I'm ready to fly." They clamped their heels together and soared through the sky. 5 little reindeer playing in the snow. But some people know of a special reindeer. Yes, that one with the red nose. His name is Rudolph. But do you know the name of all 8 reindeer? I'm going to teach you a song so that you can learn it. I need you to put your hands up like this. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Now shake your body. And then there was Rudolph. Let's try it again. Put your hands like this. Does it sound a little bit like the Macarena? It is the Rudolph Macarena. It's a reindeer Macarena. It's a reindeer Macarena. It's a reindeer Macarena. Oh, it's a reindeer. Here we go. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. And then there was Rudolph. If you sing that song, you can remember all of those reindeer. And of course, the most famous reindeer of all. I want you to know, yesterday the reindeer were being naughty. I went out into the barn. I was going to give them their feed, but I found that they were being naughty and they were sparring. Do you know what sparring is? They were taking their hooves and sparring with one another. And if that wasn't bad enough, some of them got their antlers locked together. That is never good. And I had to say, "Reindeer, what are you doing?" And they said, "Well, we were just playing around." "Well, now you've got yourself into a bit of trouble." But I have some magic. Yes, I have a special ointment. And I rubbed it on those antlers. And when I did, the antlers would and they separated. And they promised me that would never happen again. I said, "We cannot have any emergencies right now. We are in the final weeks of preparation. And if you decide to spar on Christmas Eve, we can't take a chance that your antlers will get locked together. Will you promise?" And they waved their little hooves and said, "We promise, Mrs. Santa." So I gave them some special alfalfa that they would enjoy. And then I said, "Well, let's sing that song about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I bet some of you know it." Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Oh, oh, oh. Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. You'll go down in history. Now I'm wondering, I have my book about the naughty and nice list, but I also have a spinner. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spin it right now. Will it land on naughty? Will it land on nice? Let's see. Here it goes. Oh, it landed on nice. Oh, it makes me so happy to know that all of you are nice. Guess what I got? I've been learning how to drive the sleigh. It's a new experience for me. Have you ever driven a sleigh? Well, I had to get my very own sleigh license. So now that I have my very own sleigh license, I'm officially able to drive, not Santa's sleigh, but I have my own sleigh. Yes, because Mrs. Claus comes down to visit children. When Santa gets very busy, I break away and I come down before Christmas and I go and visit children at various places. And it always makes me exciting. But now I have my official sleigh license, so I could drive my brand new Mrs. Claus sleigh. Now, I hope none of you are worrying, because we all live in different kinds of houses. Some of us live in very tall skyscraper apartments. Some of us live in houses made of brick, houses made of mud, houses made of sticks. We live in different places in different houses all over the world. Now, Santa and I have a special way that he gets around. Time changes on Christmas Eve. It either slows down or speeds up, so that when Santa goes to deliver the gifts, he never misses anyone in all the time zones around the world. I always pack him lots of good food to eat and some hot tea and cocoa to keep him warm. And that way he can get through the night sky. And sometimes he has to come back to refuel and gather up some more presents. But you might be wondering, how can Santa get in everyone's houses, especially if they don't have chimneys? Santa actually prefers not having a chimney. He doesn't like to get his red suit all dirty, because then if he goes somewhere else's house, he might track that soot into another person's home. So Santa has a very beautiful magic key. And this very beautiful magic key allows him to get into anyone's home. So wherever you live, he'll find you. And I know some people travel on Christmas to Grammy's houses or Auntie's houses, and you might not be in your own house, but don't worry. Santa and I always know we have a very special modern GPS tracking system that tracks where all of the children in the entire world live. So we never miss anyone. We don't miss our friend Louie. We don't miss our friend Terry. We don't miss anyone. We see everyone, and definitely not Omar and our friend Mr. John Rowe. Oh, yes. So this is the magic key that lets Santa into everyone's house. Well, guess whose beard is long and white, long and white, long and white? Guess whose beard is long and white? Dear old Santa, who loves to sway, ho, 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 ho. Who loves to sway, ho, 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 dear old Santa, who comes around on Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. Who comes around on Christmas Eve? Dear old Santa, who wears a hat and a suit of red, suit of red, suit of red. Who wears a hat and a suit of red? Dear old Santa. Well, you know, in some places, especially in the United States, this very next week, we're going to be celebrating another holiday. It's a holiday that we celebrate before Christmas. And in Canada, I think 2 weeks ago, they celebrated this holiday too. In other countries, they set aside days for Thanksgiving to show their gratitude for all that God has given them. And so in the United States, we commemorate a time 400 years ago when new immigrants came to the United States looking for a new home. They started out in England and then went to Amsterdam and came across the Atlantic Ocean on a ship called the Mayflower. The Tillys were in the Mayflower. That was a family. In fact, they're related to me and John Howell. And families came. It took them 3 months to cross over the Atlantic Ocean. I'm so grateful we can fly now. And in my new sled, I can do it in a very short time. But the Pilgrim families tossed to and fro in the ship, and they got sick. But after 3 months, they did land in the state called Massachusetts. Now, it was too cold for them to go on the land, and there were already people living there. The Native American Wampanoag tribes were already living there. They were very curious when this ship came. They were very worried too. Would the people be nice, or would they try to harm them? Well, the Pilgrims, as we know, were grateful. And the Native Americans from the Wampanoag tribe, Massasoit and Squanto, saw that the people needed food and taught them how to grow their own food. And they built their own houses. It is said that they had a feast for their first harvest. They invited the Wampanoag tribe to come and join them. There was lobster and clams and fish, some wild turkeys, cranberries, nuts, squash, corn. There was such an ample feast that they sat down to have Thanksgiving. Now at the North Pole, we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving too. Oh, yes. And we're planning a fine feast. Mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, yummy, green beans. We will have a turkey. We'll also have a ham, and we'll have some pumpkin pie. I think we'll even have a pecan pie. And Santa really loves chocolate pudding, so I'm going to make some chocolate pudding. But I am thinking about a turkey. Hello, Mr. Turkey. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, Mr. Turkey. How are you? How are you today? With the wobble, 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 and the gobble, 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 gobble. gobble, 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 with wobble, 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 and gobble, gobble, gobble. How are you today? Well, I want to tell you a story about some turkeys. It's also about a rabbit. It is a Native American story. And so it is that I want to tell you a story about how Rabbit lost his tail. Now, a long, long time ago, rabbits had very long tails. They were long and furry. And this particular day, this one rabbit came out and said, "Oh, I'm the best rabbit of all. I've got a fine, fine tail. Everybody notices my fine, fine tail. It is long, and when I dance and move, it goes swish, 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 back and forth. I'm so proud of my very long tail." Well, the rabbit was out and about on the path when out from the bushes pounced a bobcat. And the bobcat pinned the rabbit down onto the ground. And the rabbit was on its back, and its swishy tail was swishing, and its long ears were itching. And Rabbit looked up at the bobcat and said, "Bobcat, why would you pin me down?" The bobcat said, "Well, I'm hungry, and I'd like to eat you for lunch." "Oh, Bobcat, can't you just see? I'm a very, very skinny little rabbit. If you let me go, I will find the fattest turkey. Then you could have that turkey for your lunch." "How can I trust you?" "Well, I promise. I've got a plan. Do you want to hear my plan? I know where those turkeys are. But this is what I need you to do. I need you to lay down in the path and pretend you are dead." "I suppose I could do that. I don't want you to trick me." "I won't trick you. I promise. I promise." Now, if you lay down and pretend you are dead, I will go and find the turkeys. I will bring them here. I will have them go in a circle around you. And then I'll start thumping my back hind legs on the ground, and I'll get faster and faster until the turkeys are dizzy. And then I'll say, "Jump up and catch the biggest one." And that's when you can pounce and you'll have a fine meal. I hope it works, Rabbit. I promise it will. So the bobcat laid down and pretended it was dead. And that rabbit with the long, swishy tail pounced away. "Oh, I'm going to find a turkey. Oh, look at my tail. It's so pretty. It goes swishy, swishy, swishy. I'm the best rabbit of all. I'm so beautiful. I'll go into the woods and find those turkeys." And that's exactly what the rabbit did. It went into the woods and it found a whole group of turkeys. Rabbit went quietly at first, because those turkeys were strutting around. And Rabbit went right into the middle of their circle and started jumping and swishing the tail around. "The bobcat's dead! The bobcat's dead! I bring you good news! The bobcat's dead!" The turkey stopped. "Go, go, go. Bobcat's dead. Gobble, 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 Bobcat's dead. Yes, yes, I promise you he's really dead. He's in the road. I want you to come with me so you can see for yourselves. Gobble, 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 gobble. Are you sure? Yeah, yes, I'm really sure. Come with me, I promise. And so all of those turkeys, with their feathers and their fluster and their talons and their wings and their beak and their wattle and their snoods, followed right behind the rabbit with the swishy tail. It was as if it were a parade. And they followed all the way back to the road, and they saw the bobcat laying there. Gobble, gobble, is he dead? Gobble, 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 is he dead? Gobble, 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 is he dead? Each turkey inspected, and they agreed that the bobcat was dead. And Rabbit said, well, let's dance a fine dance of joy. And the turkeys went in a circle around the bobcat, and that little rabbit with the swishy tail began to thump, 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 thump. He got faster and faster and faster. You can thump with me. And he thumped, 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 until those turkeys were totally dizzy. And at that moment, the rabbit yelled, jump up and catch the biggest. And that bobcat pounced on a turkey and pinned him to the ground. It took a few moments for the other turkeys, being so dizzy, to figure it out. Go, 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 go! Oh, the bobcat's not dead! And they looked for that rabbit with the long swishy tail. And Rabbit realized, oh, I'm in trouble now. And Rabbit started running. And those turkeys ran after him. Go, 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 we're getting you. Gobble, 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 we're coming after you. Gobble, gobble, gobble. And Rabbit looked here and there and anywhere to find a hole that he jumped down into. And eventually, Rabbit was breathless, and he found hope. And he jumped in, but as he did, one of the turkeys caught hold of that long swishy tail with its beak. And Rabbit went sliding down into the hole. But the rabbit couldn't get rid of that turkey holding onto his tail, and the turkey pulled. When he did, it snapped Rabbit's long, fluffy tail. And Rabbit slid down into the hole, breathless. And Rabbit turned back and forth, and Rabbit took its paw. What happened to my long, fluffy tail? I only have a little short, fluffy tail now. Well, the legend goes that that is why rabbits do not have long, fluffy tails anymore. As it was those turkeys. They snipped it off with their beaks. And now rabbits just have cute little fluffy tails instead of long, swishy tails. At the North Pole, we are getting ready. And so I want to end with a song. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Whatever holidays you celebrate, may you be healthy and well. May you find joy, and remember, treat one another very kindly indeed, because kindness is what we should have in our hearts. Goodbye, my friends at the World Storytelling Cafe. I'm so glad I could take a moment from the North Pole busyness to come and greet you and start off your holiday season with some joyful stories. Thank you to our hosts at the World Storytelling Cafe, Desmina and Omar, and to our guest and Louis. We wish you a Merry Christmas too. You're on the nice list.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Klaus. I don't have a turkey to show people, but I do have this rabbit, which used to have a long tail, but now you can see that it's very, very short now.
Yes, Destina. Oh, thank you for sharing that rabbit with us. We never know what will make a story, right?
Thank you so much, dear Debra. Thank you so much, everybody. It was a very beautiful stories, and that's a beautiful stories, and we enjoy the stories, and we enjoy your style of telling stories. Thank you so much for this beautiful stories, and I'm replacing the irreplaceable Mr. John Rowe today, and it was my honor to introduce you and to be with you and to be a part of this beautiful story. So thank you so much, and see you next, inshallah, in the next episodes and in the next storytelling in the future. So goodbye and good
Inshallah,
evening.
inshallah.
Before we say goodbye, I
Yes.
know that you have a better beard than I do, so you do make a better impersonation of Monroe. However, I must comment, Deborah, pardon, Mrs. Klaus, that everybody went wild with your turkey voices, let's call them. Yeah, I did watch the face of Louis while you were doing it. He had a smile from one ear to the next.
Louis, did you like that gobbling? Louis, can you gobble too?
Yes.
Let me hear it. Thank you, Louis.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, Louis. Before people
Bye.
go away,
Bye,
we
Louis.
should say next Friday, Louis, we have Amy Debuki from Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be the teller. And this is for all kids and our inner children to enjoy as well. And this Sunday, it's 6 p.m. UK time and Marrakesh time and Ireland time, of course. And this Sunday we have the story round, which Mr. Mike Rust hosts, and it's at the same time. It's 6 p.m. UK and Marrakesh time. So anybody is free and welcome to join us and share a story or be listeners, whatever you like. So this was a pleasure, Mrs. Klaus. It's very good and a very warm feeling to know that things are getting ready up there.
They are. No one has to worry. We have it under control.
Awesome. So big kiss to everyone. See you soon.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming to the World Storytelling Cafe today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Louis.
Bye, Decima.
Thank you.